I first picked up a basketball when I was 5 years old and was immediately hooked. It wouldn't have been 10 minutes of being awake before I was in my front yard shooting around in a full sweat. Basketball was the thing that woke me up as a kid. It was the first thought on my mind every day. And it wouldn't be long after that before I joined my first rec league, South Lake Rec. And while this was a good starter league, it wasn't exactly scratching my competitive itch. I wanted to play against the best. Little Austin was a savage. And luckily, when I was 9, an AAU coach was at one of my rec league games and invited me to play for his team, the LBA Lakers. Now, at the time, I had no idea what AAU was. I remember the first practice I went to for AAU, everybody was good. This is the first time I was exposed to this kind of talent. The first ever AAU game I played was against the Gainesville Gators, and I scored 0 points, as well as the rest of my team, aside from one player that scored all of the points. The final score was Casey Hill 23, Gainesville Gators 19. Billy Donovan's son actually played for this Gainesville Gators AAU team, and then as we know, Casey would go on to play for the Florida Gators. Definitely some foreshadowing there. But back to the story, yes, Casey scored all 23 of our points. Being as competitive as I wanted to be as good as Casey. And for the next few years playing with the LBA Lakers, I got a lot better. Did I ever get as good as Casey? No. But he made everyone on our team better. When I eventually went to middle school, AAU made the school ball feel easy. Playing AAU at such a young age and being exposed to that kind of talent gave me a lot of confidence playing middle school basketball. That confidence would carry into high school, but I actually ended up playing JV as a freshman, which was fine with me because I wasn't going to get minutes on varsity anyway. My freshman summer in AAU, I got my first ever college offer from Weber International University, NAIA Division II school in Lake Wales, Florida. Was I happy about this? Yes. Did I expect to go there? No. My sophomore year, I moved up to varsity and earned a starting spot by the end of the year, once again carrying this confidence into summer, where I received my first Division I attention from West Point, aka Army. The coach flew down to my high school that summer, and quickly into the conversation, I realized I was not going to be able to go here. It was one of the hardest schools in the country to get into academically. Junior year of high school, I averaged 17 points a game and won District 7A Player of the Year, but picked up no new offers this year. So before my senior season started in September of 2012, I went ahead and signed with my first and only legitimate offer to Weber International University. My senior year, I averaged 19 points a game, and we ended up losing in the regional quarterfinals to the Orlando powerhouse Oak Ridge. At this point in the story, I need to input some information. I graduated high school with a 2.0 GPA, which is the minimum GPA to even graduate. So anyways, I graduate. It's the summer after my senior year, and I'm applying to go to Weber because you still have to apply to the school even if you have an athletic scholarship. So I'm sitting there applying, and I realize I have not taken my ACT or SAT, which, looking back now, how were you that out of touch? If you're still in school watching this, just know I made my route a lot harder with basketball because I wasn't a good student. If I was a good student, my life would have been a lot easier. So I'm not able to go to Weber International that first semester. So now I'm at home and I have to take the ACT or SAT. A post-grad coach reaches out to me, hears I'm not going to Weber, and I play there for a semester. At this post-grad school, there was no class, no schooling. So for 4 months, I, first of all, took my SAT, got that passed so that I could go to Weber my next semester, but we were just traveling around playing junior colleges and a few other post-grad schools. And then after 4 months of the post-grad, I finally went to Weber International the second semester of that first year out of high school. But I went ahead and redshirted because, one, they were mid-season and they already had everything figured out, and I didn't want to waste a full year of eligibility on one semester. So for that semester, I just tried to get acclimated to the school, the college life, and that summer I actually stayed on campus so that I could work out and train and get ready for my freshman year.
Mills will pull up three. Got it.
I become ineligible halfway through the year due to grades. Now, being that I was getting almost a full scholarship for basketball and was now ineligible, it left my head coach in a really tough position because each school is only allotted so much scholarship money to give out for athletics, and being that it was NAIA, it has less scholarship dollars to give than say a NCAA Division I school would. So me being ineligible but eating up a chunk of the scholarship money, again, put my coach in a tough position. And mind you, this was the same coach that I've known for 5 years and was the first college coach to offer me back in 9th grade. So he absolutely wanted what was best for me. We had a good relationship all throughout high school. We would talk about once a month for several years, but I put him in a difficult position and he had a job to do. So he released me, and even at the time, I totally understood, and so I went back home. When I went back home, I was highly motivated to get better. I spent a lot of time in the weight room and trying to improve my overall athleticism. A few months after I was home, I ended up signing to Florida College, and I had to redshirt my first year there because of my GPA at Weber. So that full year, I continued to work on my game, and I ended up getting the 3.0 GPA that I needed to become eligible again. My first game back was at the College of Bahamas, and I was really excited to see the work that I put in come to fruition. I finished my first game back with 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, and was just really happy to be a part of a team again. Around this time, my whole goal was to get good enough and play well enough to have an opportunity to play professionally overseas after college. The work that I had put in to become a better player the past year and a half was paying off right in front of my eyes. Through the first 5 games, we were 4-1, and I was averaging 17, 8, and 8. I couldn't have been more grateful to be back on the court. The morning after my 5th game of my junior season, I had stayed at my now wife's parents' house and was heading back to campus to get to chapel at 10 a.m.
Live pictures of a multi-vehicle crash with injuries. This is on I-4 in the westbound lanes near DeLand. You can see the highway is shut down.
So I wake up on the side of the road, staring up at the sky, and there's like 15 to 20 strangers standing around me, some of which were freaking out, so that kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I started asking them, am I okay? Because I didn't understand exactly what injuries I had. I was so discombobulated. So anyways, the ambulance gets there pretty quick, and they're asking me questions, and I could not tell them anything. I didn't know my name. I didn't know anybody's name. One of the guys had told me that somebody saw the crash and had told them that I had crawled out the window, walked a few yards, and then collapsed. So they take me to ICU, and I'm laying in the bed for like 2 hours, getting medical attention. Also trying to remember either my name or anybody's name that I knew, because I didn't have my phone. Nobody knew where my phone was. It probably went flying during the accident. So there was no way of getting in touch with anybody. It was several hours before I remembered my wife's name. They messaged her on Facebook, and then she told everybody, obviously, and everything was okay at that point. But yeah, for a few hours, I was just laying there. If you haven't played it before, Sorare is an NBA fantasy game where you collect and play player cards for weekly and now daily competition. Today's challenge is all about the 3-pointers, so I made some changes and put the best 3-point shooters in my lineup. This lineup will give me the best chance to win this competition. When you sign up for Sorare, they give you a set of 12 cards, which are called common cards, so you can build your lineup and compete against the others. And you can play those common card competitions for free, win those competitions, and then use those cards to compete for cash prizes. If you get in using my link in the description, you get 20% off up to $100 credit to buy cards to play in competitions. Once again, use my link in the description so you can get 20% off if you choose to buy any cards, with the potential to win some cool prizes. Shout out to Sorare for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. So the main injury that I had in the car crash was a broken elbow. That was the one that really kept me off the court. Everything else, like I had a ton of glass in my face and on my hands. I remember pulling out shards of glass months later, and my hands were just swollen for months. Regardless, I'm just grateful even to this day that I came out of that healthy. I had some broken bones, but could have been a lot worse. So for the next 3 to 4 months, I was working out in any ways I could to get ready for when I came back. The main thing was trying to keep my legs intact for when I got back. But I got back at the end of my junior season and I was a shell of myself. I was not ready to play. I did not play well, which caused me to lose minutes, which caused me to lose confidence. And after those last 10 games that I had returned for my junior season, I was ready to quit basketball. I was ready to transfer. The journey of an athlete can be really up and down. So I was definitely in a negative mindset at the time. And I was just trying to, at the same time, be the best teammate I could, because it's hard not playing. Win or lose, if you're a competitor, you want to play. And I just try to handle that as well as I could. So I go into that summer and I'm really just trying to get back into the form I was going into my junior season. I had a good summer, and going into my senior season, I was ready to play again. I didn't necessarily feel as good physically as I did going into my junior season, but I felt better mentally because I had gone through that low at the end of my junior season, and I just felt like it almost created more confidence for me. So started my senior season, I'm playing well. I got my spot in the rotation back. I'm playing a lot. I'm averaging maybe around 10 at this time, but I was leading the conference in assists, so I was really just a pass first point guard. We had a lot of shooters and I was the point guard, so I was really just getting them the ball. But regardless, things were going well. I get a call from my coach and it doesn't sound good. So I go to his office and basically he breaks the news to me that I was being dropped from one of my classes. In a lot of college classes, or at least at the school I was at, we would sign into class. That would be your attendance. And at times, I would have people sign into a class for me, which was dishonest. So I got dropped from my class, which I had a B in, by the way, to be fair. But nonetheless, I did what I did. The professor drops me from the class, which dropped me under the amount of classes you need to be eligible in college to be an active student athlete. So literally, not signing into class dropped me under the credits and I was no longer eligible. And this was my senior year. So the next day, I went home. When I got home, I continued working on my dreams of playing professional basketball and thought I had landed an opportunity overseas. A few days before I was scheduled to leave, found out I didn't have a job there anymore. So continued to work my normal job after college, and then 2020 hit. And we all just had a lot of downtime at that point. So I started a TikTok, started making content. That led to me creating a YouTube channel, and so on and so forth. And some of you guys might be wondering, do I plan to play again? What's the plans for the future? I really don't know. I have taken several months off from basketball for the first time in my life. We'll see what happens. Regardless, if you're still here, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great new year. Take action on dreams, goals, aspirations. I promise you, whatever you want is on the other side of a lot of hard work. I promise you, you can get there. Whatever it is you want to do. 2024, we're out.